What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. Apologies for the lack of video yesterday. A lot of things are going on, but if you were in the Discord you would have been aware. Nonetheless, we're going to start on dollar. There is only one more day left of the week, so I'm not too concerned about this week. I do want to try and get more in depth moving into the end of the week, but shot every time I say week. But we're going to start on the weekly, and the reason for that is because this week's been struggling, as you can see, to get some serious expansion, which is why I wanted to see at the beginning of the week. But nonetheless, I do have my eyes set on this rejection block level down here, so I'm going to mark this level out. And what you'll find is when we get down to the daily, you'll see there's a bullish order block here, which I've also drawn our attention to. So I'm watching this bullish order block very closely now, because I want to see how price reacts to it if we manage to trade down into it. So moving into Friday, I am anticipating that we do get a down close day and that we do manage to trade down into that level. And as price trades down into the bullish order block, I'm going to be looking very closely to see if we get a strong reaction away from it. Now, I am aware that we do have high impact news, so it'd be nice if we were to trade into that on the back of it and then see some kind of reversal, because if we get a reversal at this level in this deep discount, look at the current trading range, low to high, if we do get a reversal at this point, then it'll be pretty easy to get in on the longs and start thinking about premium PD arrays moving into the rest of the year, so to speak, because of the time of year that we're in. But before I get down into that, I do want to talk more on the weekly, just to explain to you guys what a rejection block level is. So rejection block level, basically, you see this long wick right here, you see how price traded into that same wick here with this week and moved away from it. That then makes this whole range a rejection block. And what ICT explains is that when price comes back down into these ranges, we should anticipate the same or similar to happen. So that's why, if anything, we should treat it as like a bullish fair value gap, as in if price does manage to trade down into it, we should expect price to find support at it and trade higher. Now, the reason I'm not expecting the lows to necessarily get taken out is because, wow, we've already taken out south side liquidity below these lows, and you can see how much price is struggling to even get down into this discount. So we're seeing a lot of high resistance, which is typical when we're reaching our target. So that's another reason I'm expecting a reaction away from there. But nonetheless, we'll get to the 4 hour and you can see how disgusting it's been. Not a nice expansion to the downside. Let's look at an inversion fair value gap right here between this high and this low. Drag that out. We can mark out the midpoint of that. Any higher than that, I wouldn't be a fan of price. But generally speaking, I'm expecting price to respect the 50% level of this as it retraces. And then after that, I'll be looking at shorting opportunities on dollar with longs on the pairs to run down to this south side liquidity down here. Now, this should be quite a nice south side liquidity pool, purely because we've got relative equal lows here and here from Wednesday. So there's going to be a lot of buy stops below there that I believe price is going to target. And after seeing this large expansion to the downside, again, this is displacement. So we anticipate the range of that displacement to provide resistance, which is why I've marked out this inversion fair value gap. And if we want to be a little bit more specific, we can even mark out the 25% level. And the reason for that is because price may not trade all the way up to the price may not retrace all the way up to the 50% level, but it may trade, it may retrace back up to the 25% level. So let's get that delineated like so. We will also make that dash, and as we drop down to the lower time frames, we can get a closer look. So let's go to the 1 hour, and you can see disgusting gap right there. We're just playing around this bullish order block. Moving into tomorrow, I'm happy to see us rally a little bit into this range, 25% level at the most, and then I want to see displacement and see us trade lower into our south side liquidity pool. And remember, my draw on liquidity, or where I want to see price try and reach to, is this massive daily bullish order block on right here. Now you can see all the high impact news we have tomorrow at 8:30, so it should be quite exciting. But generally speaking, moving into the London session, I do want to see some kind of rallying that would be supportive of my expectation for like a typical New York reversal of some sort. So let's go to the 15-minute just to get a better look at price. Really not much going on here. But again, the fact that we've gapped lower and expanded lower like this is clear displacement. Price clearly wants to go down into the south side. Now, that doesn't mean go short now. Why? Because there's going to be some kind of manipulation, and that's why I'm anticipating a return back into this range, this range specifically. So that's going to be everything on dollar. Now let's head over to GBP USD. We'll start here on the weekly as well. And there is a fair value gap up here. So obviously if we're expecting dollar to trade on lower, which I am, then I want to see if pound can reach into this fair value gap, which I drew our attention to at the very beginning of the week. So that means moving into tomorrow. What does that mean? Well, I obviously want to see an up close day. You can see we have a bullish order block here. Why is this a bullish order block? Because as soon as that high got taken out yesterday on Thursday, this now permits that to be a bullish order block. So we can look at the 50% level of it, and then that should be mean threshold, and that would be the very lowest I want to see price trade. Similarly to how I marked that level out on the inversion fair value gap back on dollar. So you see how I'm lining things up in order to help me with my bias. We'll drop down to the 4 hour now, take a closer look, and we have a nice up close before the down move that expanded higher. So this is what we call a breaker. So I do want to see price trade down into this range. That would be very ideal. However, I don't want to see it drop any lower than that range. Any lower, and I will be honestly, I'll probably punch my screen. It should, assuming we're bullish and we're wanting to reach into this buy side, into this fair value gap, this imbalance, this weekly imbalance as well. I'm happy for price to dip into it as much as possible, as much as it wants. I just don't want it to drop anywhere below it, because it shouldn't need to, assuming we want to rally and fill this fair value gap. The fact that we haven't filled it as well, and it's Thursday and we still haven't filled it, again, more reason as to why I'm expecting a lot of movement tomorrow and volatility in general. We'll probably see one of those crazy Fridays. So what am I expecting? Again, similarly to dollar, except reversed. I want to see some kind of discount offered, maybe trade into a fair value gap, and then I want to see us rally and run up into and fill this fair value gap completely. After that, we can start thinking about that on Sunday, but generally speaking, that's my expectation. So don't be surprised if you do see price falling quite deeply and running into what we have right down here, which is some clear imbalances in the discount, which price may want to try and fill. So I will just get that marked out. That would be our discount PD array. However, generally speaking, I want to see us fill this fair value gap. So that's going to be everything on pound. We're going to finish up on Euro USD. What level is that? I haven't been in the charts since Tuesday, guys. So that was some highs which I marked out. So again, we have a rejection block level. I believe this is a weekly level, so this is similar to dollar. Yep, this is a rejection block level. So obviously, if we're expecting a down close day on dollar, I want to see if euro can expand higher. We don't have a bullish order block formed just yet, but nonetheless, we still want to see some bullishness. So that means I'm looking at that Wednesday high to get ran, and obviously that rejection block level to get traded into. Now, what you'll find is that rejection block level is a bit more higher and more in a premium compared to pound. So we might find that we see more volatility on euro, and we might see some more bullishness on euro. So there's a few things we can look at to help us with support. So we have an inversion fair value gap right here, and look at how price has treated that. So we traded through it on the upside. Look at volume respects the inside, leaves it again. So once we come back down, what are we expecting? Continued support. So long as we continue to see support and sponsorship, it's called sponsorship, institutional sponsorship, then I'm happy to be long. I'm looking at this bullish order block more specifically, and we have a nice fair value gap in the discount that price may want to drop down into tomorrow. But generally speaking, to be honest, I don't really want to see it come past the 25% level off this inversion fair value gap, let alone the 50% level. So let's get the 25% level marked out just so that we know. Any lower than that, I'm staying out the charts. But generally speaking, I want to see us, again, London session, I'm happy for price to fall and whatnot, but then I'll be expecting or anticipating some kind of rally that can take us up into yesterday's highs, and then obviously into our rejection block level in the premium. But yeah, very disgusting week in general, guys. Not the nicest at all, but I hope everything I said made sense. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, join the mailing list, smash subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys on Sunday. Peace.